I saw this article the other day and I said, woohoo, big whoop. Google Messages now let you choose your own chat bubble colors. You'll be able to turn photos into reactions too. Scrolling down, I just wanted to point out one thing. Google is rolling out a string of updates for the Messages app, including the ability to customize the colors of text bubbles and backgrounds. So if you really want, you can have blue bubbles in your Android messaging app. Now, I said this in another video, and I'll say it again. There are people who report tech, and then there are tech reporters. So when it comes to this whole green versus blue bubble debate, that situation is housed on a different platform. So this we're clearly talking about Android, and this particular journalist, Chris Holt, is talking about blue bubbles on your Android device. When you are an Android user, you don't see or you don't have to deal with that as you're not an iPhone user, so you don't care. And the reason that I bring up green versus blue bubbles or tech reporters versus people who report on tech, if this is a tech reporter, they should know the color of the messages isn't important. Google is doing that because it's something you should be able to do. But for this reporter to then say, oh, well, you can have blue bubbles if you want, which one, when I use the Messages app, they're already blue. In fact, it's two different shades of blue. It's kind of a lighter blue when you're just messaging people using SMS, and it's a darker, I'd say a more rich blue when you are messaging people using RCS. But they should explain like, oh yeah, you're able to change the colors, but the real important aspect of this entire conversation is the underlying functionality of what is or isn't available. Nobody the colors don't matter. So I think I get outraged when I see stuff like this because it's, oh, you can change to blue bubbles. Now if they just said change the colors, I would probably wouldn't care, like, oh yeah, that's a nice feature. But to specifically point out blue bubbles, that's a direct reference to the iPhone. And it's like, but the people who actually care about this aren't iPhone users. And then changing their colors won't change the experience they have between other Android devices, yes, but definitely not between their Android device and their iPhone, their friends with iPhones. So you need to you need to do better. And that's really where this whole conversation kind of gets derailed, is that people who don't care or who don't understand what's actually happening, yeah, they just see the color. So for an Android user that changes the color, they might think, oh well, now that I have a blue bubble, maybe the experience will be different. But it won't. And the iPhone user doesn't know what's going on anyway. So yeah, I hate when I see stuff like this because it's just depicting an incomplete message, and which could further be perceived as an inaccurate message.